Okay, let's talk about mass deportation, one of your big agenda items. You've talked about prioritizing people who have criminal histories.
Correct.
But is it your plan to deport everyone who is here illegally over the next 4 years?
Well, I think you have to do it. And it's a very tough thing to do. But you have to have, you have rules, regulations, laws. They came in illegally. The people that have been treated very unfairly are the people that have been online for 10 years to come into the country. And we're going to make it very easy for people to come in terms of they have to pass the test. They have to be able to tell you what the Statue of Liberty is. They have to tell you a little bit about our country. They have to love our country. They can't come out of prisons. We don't want people that are in for murder.
Absolutely.
So we had 11,000 and 13,000 different estimates, 13,099 murderers released into our country over the last 3 years. They're walking down the streets. They're walking next to you and your family, and they're very dangerous.
The 13,000 figure, I think, goes back about 40 years.
No, it doesn't. No, it's within the 3-year period.
figure.
It's during the Biden term. No, that was a fiction that they put that out. This was done by the Border Patrol. It's 13,099, and it's during the Biden period of time. And these are murderers, many of whom murdered more than one person. You don't want those people in this country.
I agree with him 100%. Even when it comes to the people that are over here illegally, and even if they didn't commit crimes, obviously the first people that you got to go over or you got to go through is the people that committed crimes or some of the most heinous people that have a background of violence or committing crimes, especially considering that we know for a fact that they let people out of jail in order to come over into the United States of America. They got to go. They got to go. And the biggest argument for this, because a lot of people will be in that sympathy mode, and this is why you need adults in office. This is why you need men. The biggest argument for this is, what about the people that did it legally? At some point, you stop making emotions, or you stop making decisions emotionally, and you start making decisions based off of what makes sense. The people that did it legally, they're absolutely appalled. They like, wait a minute, hold on. So they could just skip the line, and then I gotta wait, but I don't actually get it through. So what we are supposed to be doing is fixing the problems when it comes to being able to process people effectively while at the same time defending our borders, because that prevents illegal drugs, that prevents fentanyl from getting in, that prevents a lot of things from coming over into the United States of America. Because what happens is now you have a process where people, if they are a criminal, they won't even think about coming over here because they know that they're going to get deported as soon as we find out who they are. But secondly, you implement a process where people have to respect the United States of America. They don't speak the language. They don't care nothing about what your culture is. They don't adapt. They come over here and feel entitled as a result of it because there is no rules. There is nothing to establish precedents. There is no line for them to have to get in anymore, and people do what they want to do when they want to do it. So you got to spend, you got to make sure you nip it in the bud, which now it's a whole thing and people feeling some type of way. But you got to get people out of here that's not supposed to be here, that didn't feel entitled. And it's funny because during this presidential election, I've seen so many people that wasn't actually from here. Their parents got over here illegally. They became legal, the actual children, because they were birthed here. And what happened was they were sitting there talking about, oh, I can't believe he gonna do this. What do you mean? What do you mean? The key word is illegal migrants. It's illegal. That's the key word. And although the Democrats tried to leverage this and use this as a new voter block and all of that, you got to establish rule of law. You got to establish it. But first, you got to get the criminals up out of here.
But you're saying something, sir, that's significant. I just want to make sure I'm clear, which is that you're saying, yes, you're going to focus on the people with criminal histories, but everyone who's here illegally has to go.
I'm saying this. We have to get the criminals out of our country. We have to get people that were taken out of mental institutions and put them back into their mental institution, no matter what country it is. Do you know that Venezuela, their prisons are at the lowest point in terms of emptiness that they've ever been?
Crazy.
They're taking their people out of those prisons by the thousands, and they're drunk. And just to get back, because I know exactly what you're getting at. Number one, we're doing criminals, and we're going to do them really rapidly. We're getting the worst gang probably with MS-13, and the Venezuelan gangs are the worst in the world. They're vicious, violent people.
Yep.
And you see what they've done in Colorado and other places. They're taking over literally taking over apartment complexes and doing it with impunity. They don't care. They couldn't. They just are. They're in the real estate business.
You know, the local police say that is not the case in Colorado.
Oh, it's totally the case. I mean, I have it
you
on
don't
tape.
believe the local police.
I play it. I used to play it at my rallies every single night. No, they're breaking into doors. They're taking over the building.
But sir,
and so she's wrong, because one of the things is the Aurora city councilwoman just went on Fox News and spoke about the fact that it is happening, and they've been arresting those very gang members that went viral, and they're arresting them over in New York. So I don't know if she's updated on her information to be able to have this conversation, but she's absolutely wrong and he's absolutely right.
By the way, the police are afraid to do anything.
You raised the point that the logistics are complicated. You said
Sure
it yourself.
but everything's complicated.
Yeah, I mean, you need 24 times more ICE detention capacity just to deport 1 million people per year, not to mention more agents, more judges, more planes. Is it realistic to deport everyone?
You have no choice. First of all, they're costing us a fortune.
Yep.
But we're starting with the criminals, and we got to do it. And then we're starting with others, and we're going to see how it goes.
Who are the others?
Others are other people outside of criminals. We have convicted murders. We don't mean people that are even on trial. We have people that have murdered numerous people are on our streets and in our farms, and we have to get them out of our country.
What about dreamers, sir? Dreamers who were brought to this country illegally as children. You said once back in 2017.
Brought to this country illegally as children. Hey, talk to your parents, don't talk to the president.
They, quote, shouldn't be very worried about being deported. Should they be worried now?
The dreamers are going to come later, and we have to do something about the dreamers, because these are people that have been brought here at a very young age, and many of these are middle-aged people now. They don't even speak the language of their country. And yes, we're going to do something about the dreamers.
What does that mean? What are you going to do?
I will work with the Democrats on a plan, and if we can come up with a plan, but the Democrats have made it very, very difficult to do anything. Republicans are very open to the dreamers. The dreamers, we're talking many years ago, they were brought into this country, many years ago. Some of them are no longer young people, and in many cases, they become successful. They have great jobs. In some cases, they have small businesses. Some cases, they might have large businesses. And we're going to have to do something with them. And
you want them to be able to stay. That's what you're saying.
I do. Okay. I want to be able to work something out. And it should have been able to be worked out over the last 3 or 4 years. And it never got worked out. You know, Biden could have done it because he controlled, Congress to a certain extent, right? He could have done something, but they didn't do it. I never understood why, because they always seem to want to do it, but then when it comes down to it, they don't. I think we can work with the Democrats and work something out.
Let me ask you about.
I don't see anything wrong with anything that he said. He said, listen, these people came in a long, long, long time ago. In a lot of instances, they're very successful and they contribute to the American economy. We can work with the Democrats about that. But everybody else is walking over here illegally thinking that they just going to be grandfathered in like you at the dice table. It's a no-go. It's a no-go. We're going to have to hold people accountable. And if you want to do it the right way, then you can come in legally. But these caravans and these people that feel like they're entitled to the American dream and don't even speak the language, all of those that took up billions and billions and billions and billions of resources and thought that you was just going to walk over here with size 12 shoes and that was the end of the conversation. Nah, we got to have a conversation. We got to have a come to Jesus moment. We do. It's wrong. And we need to set a precedent for what the next 100 years should look like in the United States of America. And it should be immense prosperity by placing Americans first. That's my opinion. I'd love to hear yours. Make sure that you tap into the Patreon. The best time to tap into the Patreon is now. We got Block Club coming up on Wednesday. Also, Teach Hanley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. You know what? I might move it to Sunday. Get your tickets to come and see me December 14th in Detroit. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you later. Peace.